Welcome to the Nerds Against Normality podcast. I'm Stacey Bowles. I am basically Father Christmas, and I'm here with Harry, Krampus, some might say.
Good afternoon, you ho-ho-hos.
And our little elf, Ben.
Yeah, he's also on his own bit of white snow right now.
Wow. Okay, happy Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everyone. If you celebrate it, happy holidays. If you don't.
Ben, what's your Christmas going to be like this year?
Probably going to be, I'm around my sisters this year because obviously Mum kicked me out after the whole
karaoke
after the whole karaoke debacle. So
karaoke? What? Rewind. Calm down, belt.
Sorry, all that snow. Anyway. That's how I'll be spending Christmas.
I'm glad you've got somewhere to go.
I actually just died from the 24th to about the 3rd of January. I just don't remember every year. No, I'll be around my sisters this week for Christmas. It's going to be a fairly casual affair. Big lunch with all the family. You open your presents, and then there's usually a Christmas film on or something along the lines. I think last year we watched Jurassic World 3.
That's not a Christmas film.
Well, because it was on. We literally just go onto the TV and we just go down. We don't normally actually put on a film. They'll all fall asleep. I will actually watch the film.
Poor you. That's a terrible film to watch.
I know, it was an awful...
Merry Christmas.
It was an awful Christmas.
If you had to pick a Christmas film, what would you pick?
Die Hard.
Okay, fine.
Or I'm going to I'll put my scarf around my neck at the moment because there's a very good Norwegian Christmas film called Rare Exports, which is a very good Christmas film. Or I don't know, something like, oh no, we watched Chicken Run 2 as well.
Oh, cute.
So it's usually something to do with it's usually
very different films.
Well, it's not normally a Christmas film. It's it's usually some sort of, Jurassic Park or
family friendly.
Yeah,
film.
it's like your classic
Roots.
When you said Norwegian film, for the listeners, I'd just like to say that Harry did roll his eyes.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that eye roll. Fuck you, Harry.
Harry, what are you up to, as if I don't know?
Probably spending it with my dog, Antifa.
Merry Christmas! Snow is falling. And I'm going to take as much of it as I can.
It's going to be a very calm affair because we have the dog. It gives us the ultimate excuse of not having to go and visit anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to visit all of my family, and if you are listening, I look forward to spending all of Christmas with you.
And I know it was quite tragic for a lot of people. One of the best Christmases I ever had was in lockdown. It was such a good Christmas.
So that's what we're trying to recreate this year. It's just fallen so
We're trying to make COVID 20. Watch this space.
And succeeding.
It's just fallen that we're at no one's house this year, so we're just going to have it, the three of us, go on a nice walk and watch films all day.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
But also where you live, you're going to run into all the families doing Christmas walk, which I still think is a weird thing to do.
Oh, that's tradition in my family.
Really? People just go on a big Christmas... Why?
I'm with Ben.
We would always have a huge Christmas dinner and then we'd go for a walk.
After the dinner?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Although I'd usually throw a strop and be like, no, I'm staying here watching this film.
I'm going to read my Akatar.
But now I like the walks. Harry, for all of our overseas listeners, please tell us what a British Christmas dinner looks like.
So you've got some kind of roast meat.
Yeah.
Normally turkey, for whatever reason.
Yeah, but
shit. Yeah, meat, veg, sprouts obviously, potatoes, Yorkshire pudding. You'd have maybe a bit of collie cheese.
What is a Yorkshire pudding for those that don't know what that is?
Well,
the dessert you have in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
It's just a battery puff, basically.
Yeah, no one knows how it's made. They just appear.
Aunt Bessie made them.
Yeah.
It's basically a pancake mixture, isn't it? But it looks like butt plug.
I'm not sure I have it, but I don't think I've seen.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone.
I'm not a fan of Yorkshire pudding.
Why not? Actually. Why are you not a fan of Yorkshire pudding?
Because she put it in the wrong hole. Clearly.
Merry Christmas to one and to all. No, we never really had them growing up, and I don't like the idea of...
The war was tough.
But explored new things.
I don't like the idea of having a batter in with my roast dinner. I just don't like
It's like the perfect thing. That's all I do. It's what I live for.
Just don't like
That's what I live for.
Yeah, Christmas is ruined if I don't get that.
Okay, and what would your Christmas dessert be of choice? I mean, traditionally it's a Christmas pudding, which is a steamed sponge with fruit and brandy, but
you call it a figgy pudding.
a figgy pudding, you would actually call
So
it
there's
figgy pudding?
there is an old Christmas carol which is like, we all want figgy pudding, but it's generally, if you actually listen to the carol, it's just someone getting really aggressive about wanting figgy pudding. That's all.
It's just a child throwing a tantrum.
It kind of is.
And doesn't it come normally with a sixpence or something?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Sixpence. For anyone else, the sixpence was the equivalent of like a shilling. And for anyone who didn't know that was the same as like 4 threepence. Except nowadays it's probably a bloody Monzo card, isn't it? In the middle of
It's a Bitcoin.
It's a Bitcoin. If I find a Bitcoin in my Christmas pudding with the price it is now.
So let's move on. Ben, I need to ask you 2 questions.
Okay.
1, what's the first letter of your name?
First letter. What's the first letter of my name?
Yeah.
Yes, Ben.
I feel like you've answered your own question there.
And 2, pick your favourite colour.
Red.
Ben, your elf name would be Jolly McSnowflake.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You do get offended very easily.
That is very true. No, I don't.
Harry, what's the first letter of your first name?
Huh.
And what's your favourite colour?
Blur.
So your elf name is Cookie Stripey Tights.
This.
Yeah, but what's his elf name?
Stripey Tights. And my name would be Freddie Sparkle Pants.
Sorry, your first name's Freddie.
Freddie Sparkle Pants.
Great.
Love it.
Great.
I'm so pleased for this.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, so we thought we'd do something a little bit different before we go into our Christmas film review. We're obviously talking a lot about Christmas, but now we're going to go into a Christmas Would You Rather. So this is between you two.
Okay.
My first one is, would you rather only be able to laugh like Santa or have a red nose like Rudolph?
I'd rather laugh like Santa.
Yeah, I think I'd rather laugh like Santa.
Okay.
Like, as in the root, would it glow?
Yes, let's say yes.
Okay.
I mean, you might look like
You'd get caught, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're always peeping on them women.
I think you'd look like an alcoholic.
Oh, she's getting on top of. Oh, shit. Get the car.
I think you'd look like an alcoholic with a permanently red nose.
Yeah, that's the thing. People will just assume I've hit the special brew too much.
Okay. Would you rather be one of Santa's reindeer or one of Santa's elves?
So a slave or a slave? I guess I'd rather be an animal slave.
Yeah.
Rather than an elf slave.
You only work one night of the year.
That's true.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You work fucking hard.
That's the same for both, though.
No.
You've got to build toys. Do you think they build toys on the day?
Yeah.
Are you a moron?
Yeah. That elf's got a...
It's elven magic.
No, the elf's got a real...
What, so you got one department that goes, right, get all the letters together, boys. We've got 8.2 billion to go through, so get ready.
All I can say, Ben, and you'll appreciate this having worked with Harry in the kitchen before, I would not want him to coordinate that shift.
I'd be,
Get shit done.
I'd be in tears.
You, Freddie Sparkle Pants, put that down!
Stop being a cunt.
Do elves have a HR department? Surely.
They need one. Slave labour.
That'd be you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Did you answer?
Elven magic.
I'd rather be the reindeer.
I'd rather be the reindeer. Specifically Blitzen. I think he's got a cool name.
Would you rather build a snowman or build a snow fort?
Snow Fort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snow fort.
Yeah.
These are
What if the snowman could come to life?
What if the Snow Fort could defend me against attackers?
Not if they've got an open flame.
Apparently it's not. It's actually, you can build igloos. Well, no, that's just an igloo. It's just a big igloo. You can put a fire in an igloo. I think.
Can you?
I might be wrong about that. No, I swear you can. I've seen it.
Is that where you're living now?
I'm praying for snow.
I haven't actually got the igloo left. But when that happens...
Ben's on the up.
Oh no. I was plugging my hairdryer. Oh shit.
Would you rather have Christmas away or Christmas at home?
At home.
At home, we've gone over this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a real tree or an artificial tree?
Artificial tree, fuck the pine needles.
Artificial, but I don't want... Love you, Mum. Well, I mean, like, she's kicked me out, so... My mum has a particular type of artificial tree, which is a modern one.
Right.
So it's not like like a pine tree. Are they pine trees or fir trees?
Pine trees.
Thank you. So obviously you've got that traditional pine tree looking one. This one is a modern interpretation of that, where it is
modern interpretation.
Yeah.
Is it bare?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is there's no pine, it's just twigs. It literally looks like a dead tree with some fibre optic cable and stuff in it to light up.
It's artsy.
It's shit. It's so bleak. Because also, we still hang baubles and tinsel on it. So it looks like we have nicked...
You're celebrating the dead.
We look like we're a poor family that have nicked the offcuts from a rich family across the way.
Not only has Ben lost his home, but he's now not invited back for Christmas.
Oh, I get to spend it in my igloo. Perfect. I was being very fancy once. I can't afford anything, but I was being very fancy. I walked around Selfridges in London, which is a very fancy department store over here, during Christmas, and they were selling Christmas trees there. And it's for very, posh, noncy people.
Noncy?
Probably. They were selling a Norwegian blue Christmas tree, which is a type of variant of a pine tree. Would we like to guess how much it was?
£400.
Oh, good guess.
£500.
Great guess. £1,200.
Oh my god.
Yeah, rich, fancy, noncy people.
Don't look in our cupboard.
Because there's a lot of...
There is a Norwegian blue.
Okay. Would you rather All I Want for Christmas Is You or Last Christmas?
Last Christmas.
Last Christmas.
100% Last Christmas.
And how do you feel about Christmas songs, Harry?
They can all go burn in hell.
Hey, although, there is one that was a Christmas number one, which is still a really good song, and that was Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
because that was a Christmas number one.
That was an X Factor protest song.
Yeah.
What would you say your favourite Christmas song is?
What was it? Fairy Tale New York by the Pogues.
It's like he's in the room.
Sorry, I'll just throw it up a bit.
My favourite one is Last Christmas. I used to love that song as a kid.
It's a good song.
Back when I had Christmas spirit from Crushed.
Who crushed your Christmas spirit?
Adulthood. The man.
Capitalism.
Right, we need to stop this podcast and renew Harry's Christmas spirit. It's like a Christmas film in itself.
Yeah, everyone lend your energy. Hold your hands up to the sky. Give him his Christmas energy back. I also liked the... what's that one? The one about the trenches. Like...
Oh.
I am so obsessed with your messy breasts and I can't really keep away.
Cavalier or something?
Called Cavalry. Yeah.
That's my least favourite. I really
Really?
like that song, yeah.
Well, fair enough. It's not actually a Christmas song, which is quite funny. It's about the horrors of war. It genuinely is.
But
sorry, everyone.
Doesn't it bring the Christmas
the war.
spirit alive?
I'll show them to blame somehow.
I mean, remember that classic Christmas story about how football saved Christmas? You know that one, right?
What?
I was there.
Yeah, in World War One, was it? The English and the Germans stopped fighting so they could have a game of football on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
True story.
True story.
How football saved
They probably beat us in a penalty shootout.
Would you...
Would you like a shower? No!
Would you rather Oh, I just got that.
Oh my god.
Oh, gosh.
Would you rather decorate the tree or wrap the gifts?
Oh, fucking both are horrible tasks.
I'll decorate the tree.
I suppose... No, I'm quite a boss at wrapping presents. Plus, I get to be alone. That is worth its weight in gold.
Wow.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Okay. Would you rather have mulled wine or hot chocolate?
Chocolate.
Hot chocolate, because I go with that.
With Baileys.
Yes.
Yeah,
or a bit of
absolutely.
Jameson's in it.
With hot chocolate.
Yeah, a bit of whiskey and hot
Maverick.
chocolate. Yeah. Oh, I just put a Castello into mine.
And no hot chocolate.
Traditions have 2 pints of Carling, 2 cans of hot chocolate.
This isn't a this or that question, but have either of you ever watched the Queen's speech before, or King's speech? If you watch the King's speech, because for our overseas listeners, every year the King or Queen makes a speech on TV in the afternoon, I think.
The only one I ever bothered with was the one where she wore green, because then people photoshopped like Animal Crossing onto her and stuff, and I thought that was hilarious.
Amazing. Okay.
No, I've never watched one.
You've never watched one?
No, why? Why would... Just... Why?
Do you not love your country?
Of course I love my country.
Do you? Then why are you not watching the speeches?
Not only are you homeless, not invited around for Christmas, but now you've been exiled as well.
Great. I don't know, I'm usually asleep by that time. Or I'm watching Jurassic World 3.
Okay. Would you rather watch Christmas Day TV or movies or play Christmas Day games?
Movies.
Although we have a tradition now in my family where we play Jackbox.
Yes.
So we play Quiplash and that sort of stuff. We have also, for the last 3 years in a row, we've played a bomb disposal game on one of the Jackbox.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
We have only ever been able to do like maybe a week of it. To this day, we've never completed it. But it's become kind of quite a fun Christmas tradition because we just fucking hate each other by the end of it.
We've ended up having to do games. I'm not a very gamey person, but your family is. And April, your sister, is like, gets 3 or 4 of them out and literally my whole body just goes in with dread.
You like it
But
now?
I do like it. The thought of it fills me with dread because I'm a moron. And then when I actually get into the swing of it, I'm like, oh, it's all right actually.
What kind of games are they? Because
It's your classics like Articulate. I think we did try Jackbox a couple of times.
The trouble is your mum takes so long to text.
There's ones it's like charades and all this sort of stuff. I just know I can't do it. Give me like a nice modern board game, I'll play that. But like my family aren't really board game players. Play Shithead.
I love Shithead. I used to love Shithead. Someone ruined it for me.
Oh no.
She beat me. I took it quite well considering you beat me. I'm not even exaggerating. It must have been like 20 times in a row.
What? Nice, well done.
And it become a running joke where, like, it'd be like ace 2 10. Like she'd literally have cards. You know the free cards.
Yeah.
And mine would be like,
I bet that's
3,
an ace.
3, 5. And literally, I'd take the piss of like, that's 10. She'd be like, 10.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's a story for another day.
Yeah, we'll have to review that game.
And what's really appropriate for this pod, I think, is a this or that on Christmas movies. So buckle up. Love Actually or The Holiday?
Is turning it off an option?
No.
Love Actually.
Love Actually, I guess.
The Grinch or Miracle on 34th Street?
Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh.
Jim Carrey? Oh.
I'm going to change it Grinch. Yeah.
Nativity or The Muppets Christmas Carol?
Muppet Christmas Carol, the best Christmas film.
This is really controversial, but I would pick Nativity. I've never seen The Muppets Christmas Carol.
It's the best Christmas film.
And my friends tried to make me watch it like a year or so ago.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Why not?
Creepy.
Creepy?
Yeah.
The puppets?
Yeah. Okay. I'll move on quickly. Bad Santa or Die Hard?
Die Hard.
Oh my god.
Die Hard only because I think Violent Night clipped Bad Santa in that sort of like world.
Yeah, Die Hard.
Scrooge or It's a Wonderful Life?
I've never seen
Scrooge.
I've never seen Scrooge, so It's a Wonderful Life for me.
Yeah, Scrooge.
The Santa Claus or Jingle All the Way?
Jingle All the Way.
I don't think I've seen it.
You haven't seen Jingle All the Way?
Don't think so. Christmas films.
Get your Christmas pajamas.
Oh, that's that.
Yeah.
That then. Yeah.
And last one, The Snowman or Arthur Christmas?
Or what?
Arthur Christmas.
I don't know what half Christmas is. What's the other half?
Sorry, that was terrible.
Arthur Christmas it's about like the younger brother of Santa Claus or like the Claus family.
It's an animated thing.
It's got a great line in it, which is in the trailer.
Is this...
And it killed me. It was Iron Man, I think it was, or something like that.
I won't lie to you, the fucking snowman one does my nuts.
Does me.
Oh, that looks shit as well.
It has got, if nothing else for a line, it's literally got one of them is like the granddad who's the older sort of Santa Claus who's passed it down and he's got the younger one, and the younger one is like, we need to save the family, we need to do this and save Christmas. That's impossible. And it's the old granddad who's got some views. It's like, nothing's impossible. They used to think it was impossible to teach women to read. And that was in the trailer. I was like,
Now we're reading Akatar.
And now we're in Akatar. Actually, if this makes it great. There is a really good Christmas film, which I genuinely like because it's just a genuinely good film I think it's on Netflix called Klaus.
Yes.
Yeah.
which is
That always
brilliant.
made our list of what to watch for Christmas.
Oh, why didn't we choose that?
So before we move on to our Christmas review, we have some questions from listeners, I hear.
We do. We actually have people coming in and giving us questions. So I thought I'd read out two. Obviously, they're all, like, again, thank you for the listeners, they're all kind of like gaming or they are film related. So I chose two. So this one comes from Hannah, and Hannah asks, what's a piece of music from a video game or film that still gives you chills every time you hear it?
From a video game or...
From a video game or a film. Or maybe try both, a video game and a film, because I've got one for a video game.
Nier Automata.
Oh, which bit?
The whole fucking game, mate. It's just a masterpiece. I could listen to that soundtrack back to back.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. I loved it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my Sonics and I love that jam. It's good vibes.
Yeah.
But for a pure epicness and scale, oof.
But I feel with the Sonic games as well, like you've kind of got a template for what makes a good soundtrack for that genre or for that franchise. That makes sense because a lot of the music is very similar. Like it follows the same kind of. Whereas I think with Nier Automata, it was so just it's one and done.
It also. I think the music it helps the game go along. It matches it perfectly.
Massively.
Film, and this is going to be really fucking cheesy and a shit answer, but I've got to say the Avengers theme. When it comes on, I still get pumped up. The dun, 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 and you're like, fuck yeah, it's going to fucking go. Like it.
I can't say my answer now.
Oh.
Because mine was going to be Avengers.
Oh my god!
But it was going to be.
Guys.
It wasn't the Avengers theme. It was when, and I've listened to it every now and again. It's called Portals, and it's the one in Endgame where all the portals open up, and it goes like
yes,
and you're like, oh fucking hell, let's kick it off.
Yeah.
My film one, I mean, to be honest, would probably be most songs from any musical. But I think in particular it would be things like, again, to pick a really cheesy classic, it would be The Greatest Showman. This Is Me.
Showman?
Showman. This Is Me. Gary Oldman's in it. Hugh Jackman is in it.
Indeed. All the mans.
What about Newman?
Gary Newman.
I took that question as like orchestral.
Well, yeah. So, or I would say pretty much most soundtracks by John Williams, I think. Jurassic Park, Harry Potter. I think it's anything that really makes
Star Wars.
You think back and relive the movie moment, I think. E.T.
I know the film one for me. Obviously, I won't do the Marvel one, but it's one that really still gives me chills every time is Duel of the Fates.
Oh, that's a good shout. Good shout.
Duel of the Fates in episode 1.
Oh, it's so good. We watched that at cinema this year.
Yeah.
And it was awesome to actually appreciate it in the cinema with the surround sound. And it was good.
That still gives me chills. And also, weirdly enough, if we're going to go for like just a film that is completely just a blockbuster film, I really love in Transformers 1 the Scorponok battle when it's the Delta Force, or let's say the Navy SEALs against Scorponok the first time in the desert, and that music is fantastic.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. In terms of game, I mean, Metal Gear Solid theme still gives me chills. Silent Hill 1 still gives me chills.
This is a really easy one for me. Tetris. I'm joking. I'm absolutely. No, it would probably be Zelda.
Any particular one, or like Wind Waker, or Ocarina?
Yeah, probably Ocarina, but just
it's got to be the classic.
Yeah. The main orchestral theme.
Yeah.
But when you play Breath of the Wild and you have that and you're overlooking like the beautiful landscape and stuff, I think it's just really pretty.
I was also going to say Shadow of the Colossus, but I don't want to bring up that whole thing again.
Best not. Harry?
Oh, Nier Automata, but also I'd say Final Fantasy 7.
Sephiroth!
That's the one.
Yeah. Such a good
play. Tomb Raider probably would give me chills as
Tomb
well.
Raider,
for the memory.
I still remember the opening
PS1
theme.
loading screen. Oh my god.
That too.
To Jurassic Park then.
They're not soundtracks, but there are certain sounds which give me throwback, like nostalgia. Like if I ever boot up the Dreamcast, just the intro of the dun, 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 and the balls like the PlayStation 1 loading up.
The PS1 is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Hannah. That was a really good question.
Yeah, well done, Hannah. Another one for us, and this comes from, sorry if I'm going to butcher your name, Pietro. Sounds Italian. Which director or studio do you think is most consistent in delivering high quality films or games? I think I would like to, for you, Stace, I would love for you to be film directors, but for you, Harry, I'd love you to try and think of a studio.
Platinum Games. They are savage. Platinum Games, they do like their arcadey games like Bayonetta.
Wonderful 101.
They do Transformers, which was brilliant. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. They have had their misses. Metal Gear Rising was also excellent.
Yeah.
Vanquish, they did. That was brilliant. It's all fast-paced, high action.
They have got their niche and they've got their kind of style, and it's always worked, I think.
It's Devil May Cry on roids.
Yeah, it's never like they don't always like sell well, personally. No. I will say there's never been a game of theirs I haven't enjoyed.
I think there's a few studios you could go with. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but Naughty Dog very rarely release a dud. Atlas is brilliant.
I've got mine.
They produce the Persona games.
Yep.
They're very good. And
Sega.
I would say Sega.
But you would be lying.
No, I wouldn't, to be fair. I think, because they won Metacritic Best Publisher of the Year 3 years ago, and I think they're going to win it again this year.
Fair.
So, yeah, shove your fucking crappy comments in the bin.
Stacey. Do you have a particular studio that you think delivers consistently good films? Or a director, for that matter?
I can't think of a specific studio because I think...
Is there a particular director that you would look at, or if you saw that person name on the poster, you'd be like, yes, I want to go see that?
Yeah, there are so many to choose from, but I guess you're going to have to go with a classic like Cameron, right?
James Cameron?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say Spielberg to an extent, but back in the day.
I'm surprised you didn't go Tarantino or Nolan. I think they're both good solid shots.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, choosing Nolan wouldn't be in my wheelhouse because I'm not into
You didn't like Dunkirk?
Oh, no, I did.
You didn't like Memento?
No, I did.
You didn't like any of the Batman films?
But
you didn't understand Tenet like everyone else.
Everyone's allowed one.
I would associate him more with like the Batman films was my first thought, and that's not necessarily my wheelhouse.
He's got bad taste. Tastes like defeat.
Because you don't like the greatest trilogy of all time.
But I can't think of Robert Zemeckis. Zemeckis is also a great one.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
No, so I can't think of a bad film that James Cameron has done, so that's why he was the first one that popped into my head. Spielberg was obviously legendary back in the day, but I would say he became a better producer than he was a director towards the end of as he went through.
Tenure. Director-wise, I think Catherine Bigelow has never turned out a bad film. Personally.
What's she done?
She did things like The Hurt Locker. She did Zero Dark 30. She did Detroit. There was another one she did that I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But she's very good.
Anna Kendrick.
I mean, if one for one, yeah. Paul Thomas Anderson, Michael Bay.
No, you cannot say Michael Bay.
I mean, say what you want about the guy. He knows exactly what his people want.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I want it. I don't want more of it.
I want all of it. Just give me all of it.
And I want it in 4K and surround sound.
Yeah, I want him to literally...
Give it to me, Daddy Bay.
And I want him every 12 minutes to punch me in the face and call me a pussy. That's what I want, Mr. Bay.
With his bass.
Yeah. Game studio? Easy. From Software. Dark Souls.
Good shout.
Armored Core. Bloodborne. Sekiro. Kingsland.
My only argument against you, just to play devil's advocate,
of course,
is that they do a lot of the same games.
I would agree.
They have a format that works, and don't get me wrong, they normally knock it out of the park. But
I would say that about Naughty Dog then.
I agree. Yeah, hence
same.
why they're not for me. Naughty Dog is the same game over and over, but for whatever reason, it sells about 1 billion copies and gets rave reviews, even though it's got really trash shooting mechanics. But whatever, that's for a different story.
That's the next question coming, probably. Harry, why are you wrong?
Well, thank you, Pietro. We could be here debating this, I think, the rest of the day.
Yeah, good questions. We'll probably do a few more. We've had a few more come in, so we'll probably
Save them.
We'll save them. We'll keep them going. But yeah, please keep sending them in, everyone.
Well, on that note, Merry Christmas to everybody listening.
Happy
And
holidays, everyone.
Bar humbug.
Indeed.
let's get on with the film review.
On with a review.
So, in honour of Christmas, I've picked the most Christmassy film I could think of. So we have reviewed the original Home Alone film. The synopsis is an 8-year-old troublemaker mistakenly left home alone must defend his home against a pair of burglars on Christmas Eve. It stars Macaulay Culkin as Kevin, Joe Pesci as Harry, Daniel Stern as Marv, Catherine O'Hara as Kate, the mum, and Macaulay Culkin's brother is in it as his cousin as well, I think.
Is it?
He is.
Oh.
This film was directed by Christopher Columbus, who has directed a whole variety of amazing family-friendly films. So he's directed Mrs. Doubtfire, the first 2 Harry Potter films, and Pixels.
What?
Yeah,
He did Pixels?
he did Pixels. This is the guy that did Pixels.
Oh my god.
This film had a budget of 18 million to make. Do you want to take a guess at what its worldwide box office made?
510.
360 million.
289 million worldwide at time of release. It's probably made a lot more since then. Obviously, it's now a huge franchise in itself. It made back its budget domestically in its opening weekend alone, but it was the second highest grossing film in 1990. Do you know what might have been first?
Air Force One.
It had a very erotic pottery scene.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh, Ghost.
No, Ghost, yeah.
Oh.
So it came second to Ghost.
I was going to say Toy Story.
We will just be going into this film full spoilers from the start because I think hopefully most people out there will have seen it. It's from 1990, so we're just going to go straight in.
He ends up home alone.
And that's I can relate to that right now.
No home.
I'm
alone.
Very much alone.
If anybody hasn't seen it, it is available to watch on Disney Plus.
And the many, many, many bad sequels. Not Home Alone 2, that is an excellent sequel.
That's excellent.
But the...
Any that don't have Macaulay Culkin in it.
Yeah.
Isn't there 4 Home Alones eventually?
More than that now.
Yeah, I think.
Really?
5.
How many parents are leaving their kids home alone?
We've called Childline.
It's a lot of bad parents.
So, Ben, you were just telling us that you actually hadn't seen Home Alone very much.
No, I've seen it. I think I've seen Home Alone in total about twice in my life. This will be the 3rd time. It's not really much of a Christmas film for us in my house, and also it's
too busy watching Jurassic Park.
Too much of watching Jurassic World. And also, I didn't know really why. I'd never actually seen the opening. I think it was one of those ones I'd watched on TV twice, and I just always had seen from when he was kind of left on his own, spoiler alert, to the end. But I'd never seen sort of the family dynamics or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was a really kind of strange experience watching it for the 3rd time, fully as an adult as well.
And?
It's enjoyable. I think it's a really good little family... I think it's just a very good family film. I think some of it has aged a bit, personally. But I think in terms of an old sort of screwball comedy, which this is, I don't really think it's got a lot of... Maybe I'm just a bit of a Scrooge, but in terms of it having heart, not really a lot of it. It does kind of go to mum realises she's left Kevin home alone, goes back home, obviously overjoyed to see him still alive, and had almost killed 2 older men who have tried to break into the house. Hargle, and that's it. But I think it's a great concept for a film when it actually gets into it with the traps and the actual Hank and Marv trying to get it in, etc., etc. It's really well done. It's really taught.
What bits haven't aged well? Because that kind of really hurt me when you said that. Because this is a really pinnacle film of my childhood. So for me, nothing has aged in it.
And that's fair enough. That's fair.
What about his acting?
Whose?
Macaulay's.
No, it's fantastic.
Sometimes it is like he's in a comic book.
But I think that's part of what makes the film. He's basically an adult kid, and it's funny.
I mean, I appreciate he's literally 8.
Yeah, he's
very young.
This is a child actor being a child actor in this film,
and with no consequences.
Yeah, it's a little bit iffy. And also, the only problem I have is that if you can afford to fly your family first class and you've got yourself...
No, they leave the kids in fucking...
Like, if you can afford to fly your what? How many kids?
He flies 4 of them first class.
Yeah.
And then he flies the 28 kids. Well, how many is it? 13?
Yeah.
Oh, they're a lot.
Yeah. So he's got and then obviously he leaves one at home. Probably deliberately, if we're honest, on the flight.
He was a bit of a prick.
So yeah, but also I'd say if you're the sort of family that can afford to do that and live in that kind of house, you're clearly obviously very rich. I feel nothing for you. You're one of the elites. I don't care.
I don't know. That's not what this film is important. I want to see the kid mess up the burglars. I don't care if Boris is in fucking Hawaii.
And they really mess them up. Like, the actual stunts and such in this are fantastic. It's all practical. It's all just like these little Rube Goldberg machines, like, do a toy car and it goes into a stack of books. The stack of books hits a butt plug that goes up one of their arse and he falls over the side of the stairs. We've all tried to break into a house with a young boy in it. Let's not put that on the socials.
How did this butt plug get stuck in your arse?
Also, surely you'd be wearing jeans or something. Surely, why would it have gone straight in there? I always burgle using me arse as chaps. Sorry.
Would make for a very different film.
Also, that's the thing now. Maybe you actually hit the nail on the head. Maybe that's not what has aged very well. Like, I don't know, in today's society, 2 grown men trying to break into a house with an 8-year-old boy in it. They're not there for the money.
Hey, what has aged badly?
I don't think it's that. It's just very... Maybe it's not aged badly. Maybe that's the wrong word. It's just very... It's a very lovely slice of Americana of it. Like, it's all snowy streets and suburban households, and the 2 burglars are, like, they're incompetent. They are played very well. They are absolutely incompetent. They're also, like, they're just dressed in rags, etc., etc. I don't think it's, like, aged well. I just think it's a bit of a time capsule for its time.
Okay.
Let's face it, if that scenario happened today, Kevin would have a mobile and he literally would have called his mum the second he got up, and they would have turned around. It would have been fine.
And also, they would have had a Ring doorbell. Has anyone seen the edit of? It's on YouTube where someone has recut this film, the film's trailer. Someone has recut it into a horror film.
Yeah,
and it genuinely looks quite.
And he plays himself. Macaulay Culkin's in it, isn't he?
Yeah, it's kind of actually like quite frightening.
I put this in the notes. I would love, now that he's at an older age, like a Don't Breathe sequel where the 2 burglars go in and he's like, I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me.
He did a Christmas ad last year, I think, which was he finally did Home Alone again. But he did it with a late
sickening. Marv in this film is 3 years younger than what I am right now. I sent a picture and I was like, are we the wet bandits?
Yeah, we're
it's like surprisingly accurate.
I saw that, but I had the same thought. It's like, who's who? I know who's who.
Yeah.
I know exactly who is who.
We're going to have to take a picture for the socials of you two.
Great, I saw the window again.
One of our houseplants is called Marv, so that we've got Harry and Marv.
Great, of course.
Harry, what did you think, having rewatched this for probably the 10th time?
I've watched it a lot, yeah. It's Christmas heritage. You have to watch it every year. I feel like it's probably up there. It's on the podium of best Christmas films.
Yeah.
It's one of the small joys I get out of Christmas is watching this film. It reminds me of my childhood. It was one of the films that I would grow up watching all the time on TV, like you said. And, you'd watch it if you caught it at whatever point. Yeah. I'd love it. I was obsessed with this and the second one. And I had the Mega Drive game for it. I loved that as well. And you could set up the traps.
Really?
Yeah, so you had their route and you had to plan ahead and you could go into the people's houses, set up traps. Which is, for a Mega Drive game, much more advanced.
That would make an incredible game now. Home Alone on PS5, but it's like all like randomly generated routes.
Basically, it's Saw.
Yeah, it'd be like Saw with Alien Isolation.
Marv, you've wasted your plugging up sinks. Now I'm going to plug you. I'm not Jigsaw. No, I think it's brilliant. I loved it. It's a shame that it obviously hurt Macaulay Culkin's life.
Yeah.
For a long, long time. I think the humour held better than what I remember it.
The humour, it's great.
It's practical humour, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's
Yeah.
all
Slapsticky.
slapstick, falling on the stairs. It's all good stuff.
Harry is fantastic, that actor. Marv is great as well, but I don't know, every time Harry was... really made me
like,
laugh.
a heart attack is going to kill them before any of the traps do.
Yeah.
They are one bad day away from just complete heart failure.
The crowbar, and he's like, "Marv,
Yes.
what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, don't move, Harry." And he cracks him, and he gets up, and he's like, "How do you like it?" And he just kicking the shit.
They carry this film. They really do. If it had just been those two trying to break into like a house overnight, and just then
You'd watch it, right?
Yeah.
So what surprised me about rewatching this film, and like you were saying with the family setup in the beginning, was how horrible they are to Kevin. I know that like he's a bit kind of bullied per se, but one line that I wrote down was, "Kevin, you're such a disease."
Yeah, who says that?
One of his
cousins,
brothers or cousins.
He is the sort of person, if that had continued, if the two burglars hadn't broken in and sort of reset the family dynamic, he would have generally ended up in a Netflix documentary in 10 years.
The way that they bully him and then ultimately forget him on a holiday is actually quite alarming, I thought.
Yeah, that's bad parenting. Like, they're bad parents. Like, as much as like she loves him at the end of it and she sort of like beats herself up about it, they did leave him.
Yeah.
Her story was the only thing. I never liked it. I still don't like it. Her story arc is just a waste of time. Her jetting off, being like, "I need to go find my son," and she goes travelling in the van. And I know it was to get that, I can't remember his name, but he's a legendary actor who passed away.
John Cann.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, awesome actor. But that whole arc is pointless.
Yeah.
And she arrives at the house 30 seconds before the dad and the family. And he's like, "Oh, I just waited at the airport," like they said.
Yeah.
It's like classic. If you just listened to the man, you would have got here at the same time.
Exactly.
I think that perspective is so funny because that probably mirrors us in real life. Like, I really connect with her trying to do that because I couldn't just sit around doing nothing. I'd have to keep trying, even if it only got me 30 seconds more. Whereas you're like, yeah, whatever, it'll work itself out. Why are you stressing?
Yeah,
It's true. This is the whole dynamic, and being the other observer of this podcast is quite funny sometimes. It's such a divide sometimes between you, both of you.
And it did work out. He might have almost got killed, but he didn't.
Were they really going to kill him?
I think by the end of it.
Yeah.
What did you think of the door neighbour storyline? The old man that they're scared of, and then he has.
He doesn't do himself any favours.
No.
Every time he looks at Kevin, he's like, "Ugh." And you're thinking, that's those murderer's eyes.
And again, back in the 90s, murderer's eyes. Nowadays,
Did you warm to him by the end?
I did, but also again, essentially, like his story's not really relevant. The film,
but he hooks up with his family,
which is
That was a heartfelt moment.
again very heartfelt moment. But the film is about two burglars trying to break into a house where a kid is, and then again, butt plug up the arse for the burglars. And it's a good little side story. But I think again, it wasn't needed. But I think I would rather have had his story rather than the mum's story of trying to get home. Does that make sense? Like, if you had to give me like another side story, it would have just been that rather than mum trying to get home and kids again. You're there for that bit of him trying to defend the home. Everything around that is kind of a bit irrelevant.
You need the beginning bit.
I think
where
so.
they go to Paris and you see them in Paris being panicked, whatever. And you need the occasional cut back to them so that they still care.
You need that initial bit of like, holy shit, we've left Kevin at home.
I know I mentioned that he gets bullied a lot by his family at the beginning, but also Kevin is ignored by so many responsible adults through this film. When he goes to the shopping centre, no one is raising an alert that he's shopping on his own. The old man, the next door neighbour, sees him countless times, never raises an alert.
But I wonder if this was like if this was just a 90s thing.
I think it was. Is there anything that you didn't like about it?
Not really.
It was the mum story. I didn't like it. It was the least interesting aspect of it.
It needed to do the traps well. There is a point when you think, no, I could probably pull this off as well. There's a point when you think, no, these traps would actually work if you think about it. And I would love to have, I think someone must have had so much fun designing those.
Yeah.
Of like, just these X goes into Y, goes into Z, then it hits everything else. Is it ever established that Kevin is just quite good at that sort of thing?
No, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It's back in the time where you didn't have to explain everything.
Yeah, just a child's imagination to hurt people.
But he's like the kid that outsmarts adults, isn't he, throughout the whole movie? Like, he's very witty and stuff, so...
Not even with the traps, like when they scout the house and he sets up the cardboard figures and the mannequins.
Yeah, that's
my favourite
great.
scene.
Yeah, he's, switched on.
Did you picture yourself as him when you were a kid? Like,
what would I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything you would do differently with the traps?
With the traps?
I mean, he gets quite into it, doesn't he? He blowtorches.
And impales Marv's foot with a nail.
Yep.
And the tar, that's fucking harsh. That is harsh. No, I don't know.
Which is the best trap, would you say?
The best trap.
Blowtorch.
Blowtorch on my head.
Just because it's the delay that he does as well, when he's just not feeling it when he comes to the door, and he just it just goes and goes and goes until eventually he's like, oh fuck! I love that bit. It's so good.
I love the paint cans. That's iconic. When that goes
There is one trap I don't like because as a burglar, I would be gone immediately. It was the spider.
Which was real.
Yeah, no, not for me.
I don't think it was real when it was on Harry, though. It was.
I think it was real hard. Well,
it was real on Marv.
When it was on Marv, the actor that played Marv, apparently asked for the stinger to be removed from the spider because he was terrified of it. And they were like, we can't do that. It will kill the spider. And he said, well,
good.
If you leave it on me, it'll kill me.
Funny enough as well, like just speaking of that from like behind the scenes stuff, there are so many rules and regulations around animals and their safety and welfare
now
on set, but even back then, because spiders, is it a tarantula?
I think so.
Yeah.
And she's like, also, come on, why have you got a tarantula? Who owns a tarantula as a pet? Come on.
He's such an alpha kid, right? A tarantula and a gun. America.
Again, if they hadn't invaded, he'd be killing people right now. He would have had a Netflix documentary. Things like tarantulas, like they would have had to have had so many strict measures and controls. You can't have lights at a certain temperature if you've got an animal like that on set.
Oh,
simply because we've had them before on a set where they will, because they're attracted to heat, they'll just go towards them and they'll fucking disappear.
And that's not what you need on set.
No, I remember we had a tarantula on set once, and I'm, if it hasn't been become obvious, I'm fucking terrified of spiders, hate them. So that's where, if that had happened to me as a burglar, I'd be like, where's that gun? I'm putting it in my mouth.
Never going to be cleaning it.
No, that's it, I would have ended it. and then Kevin's got to describe why he's got a suicide victim. It is half a down load of paint cans around him. Also, if you have flies on set, or like flies or something like that, you are only allowed to have a portion of them die. Yeah. Because they'll just fly off everywhere and do everything, so you're only allowed to lose like 10% of them, otherwise you get fined.
Who counts that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I do not know. Some weirdo.
So, I still get a buzz. Like, I used to get a buzz when you used to hear the din, 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 din. When he was leaving the church, he's like, this is my house, I'm going to defend it sort of thing, and he runs off. I still now, at 37, I was still like, yes, go on, Kevin.
Fucking go on, Kevin.
Yeah, literally. Like, when the music kicks off, you're like, yes, and he's setting up the traps, and it has that buzz going through.
Yeah.
The music is excellent.
It's a good hype track.
Yeah.
I
would have that as my walkout music in a boxing match.
Oh, absolutely. And then you like step on a rake and it hits you in the face and you fall down and there's like a nail go through your foot and then...
I'd grab the handle and it'd be on fire.
And there'd be like butter everywhere.
Is that in fact your favourite Christmas song?
Yeah, it's got to be. It's my favourite Christmas soundtrack.
Okay.
Is that Williams?
It was John Williams.
Nice. Well, yeah. It doesn't do bad soundtracks, so...
No.
What are they doing? I wonder what they're doing with the franchise now, because we've not really seen anything from Home Alone in a long time.
If you go on the Disney Plus app, there's... unfortunately, I think
They milked it.
Yeah, they milked it.
I remember seeing Home Alone 2, and I saw Home Alone 3, I think.
And of course, Home Alone 2 has our President Trump in it for a cameo.
Their President Trump.
Their President Trump. Cameo in it.
Yeah.
How weird.
Yeah. I remember Carly, you great lad.
I think the Home Alone franchise is just one of those. We've said this before on the podcast when we did Alien. You can't have Alien without Sigourney Weaver and all that sort of thing. I don't think you can have Home Alone without Macaulay Culkin.
True. I think in terms of a franchise, though, I think there's only so much you can do with it. You can't.
No, they need to do what Halloween did.
Yeah.
It should be like there should be a true sequel. They should make Halloween. They should make Home Alone 3 the true sequel to 2.
Yeah.
Where he is old. I mean, you could do it family friendly where he has kids and you could go down that route.
Yeah.
But I would much prefer it where he's older
Yeah.
and he fucks them up.
Yeah,
I would
for sure.
love to see one where it's
seeing
him, where it's like him and his kids, or like him and his son, and they get snowed in, and people try and burgle the place, and he's like, "I've done this before.
I hid this from you."
Yeah, we're gonna defend this, and and then he just goes to the gun locker and gets out a shotgun.
He's like, bear traps.
He's like, I don't know what.
Landmines.
His son set up paint cans and blow torches. He's like,
That's cute.
We got guns now.
Anyway, so before we get into trivia, what are your final thoughts and do you give it nan approval?
Yes.
Oh yeah. In a heartbeat.
Great Christmas film. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just great Christmas film. Unanimous.
Any final thoughts before we go into trivia?
What does the dad do for a living?
Yeah.
What does he do?
Oh,
man, I made a few notes about his money. $122 for 10 pizzas. Outrageous.
That would never happen now.
No wonder they can afford a 48-bedroom house.
That's a Domino's order now for 2 people. With sides.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Just.
Sledge down the stairs. I love that because we did.
Oh no.
Yeah, we fucked up our friend's house like that. So we were like, we're home alone. We got our friend's mattress, the single bed mattress. And what we used to do, we used to sit on the mattress and we used to grab the front of it, pull it over our legs like a sledge.
Great.
And then just go down the stairs. Then the thing is, right, sometimes you would go down the stairs, nice, and it'd be like, way, that was really fun. But most of the time, you'd go down about 3 steps, get stuck, and you'd just topple over and just like cascade down the stairs, just beating the shit out of yourself. Yeah, Home Alone, that has a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
But I loved it. Other than that, I think when they turn on the Christmas lights, it drains the national grid.
Yeah,
because that's a hell of a light show.
Yeah.
That's very American, though. It's a very American thing. Maybe the dad works. Oh, dad probably works in stocks or something. He probably just let like 500 people go without a severance package. He's like, brilliant. Well, no, we've all had to make sacrifices.
But thanks to you, my bonus is massive.
We've all had to make sacrifices. I've had to leave my kid at home.
After this film was released, he went to prison for tax evasion.
I mean, you probably.
That's why they had to change the actors.
Okay, let's get into some trivia. So, originally, Harry was supposed to be played by Robert De Niro.
Shut up. I would have loved to have seen that.
I think that would have worked as well.
I don't think it would have been as good. I think what we were saying, Joe Pesci really makes this film. He's just such a good
Is it Pesci or Pesci?
Pesci.
Joe Pesci really makes this film.
Isn't it mad that Joe Pesci is...
Goodfellas.
Yeah, the guy from Goodfellas is in Home Alone, which is insane.
So he really struggled.
Switcheroo.
He really struggled with this character because it was a family-friendly film, and he's only ever done like adult shows or movies or whatever.
Listen here, you little cunt. Oh, sorry.
Joe, I love what you're doing, but we just
love
can't
the energy.
use it.
Capture that energy.
Don't put it into this though.
So he kept trying to swear, and the director had to say to him, say the word bridge. Say the word fridge, and that's why he then mumbles a lot, and it's like because he couldn't swear.
Stupid fucking prick.
He also avoided Macaulay Culkin on set because he thought it was important that Macaulay Culkin didn't like him and didn't know him and stuff.
Is that the bit when? Is that when we got back to his trailer? Macaulay Culkin like crowbarred him in the shin. just burst out of a cupboard. Just.
You were saying earlier that they probably wouldn't have killed him, but you know the very end scene where they capture him, they've got him hooked on the back of the door and he goes to bite his fingers off.
Yes.
Joe Pesci goes to bite Macaulay Culkin's fingers off. In one of the takes or rehearsals, he actually did accidentally bite Macaulay Culkin's fingers, and Macaulay Culkin still has a scar on his fingers.
How hard did he bite him?
Fucking hell.
So, health and safety.
Guys, just try to do a bit of acting.
The film couldn't afford... It wasn't in the budget to have fake snow, but the second day of filming, a real blizzard happened. Then onwards, they had to continue using the fake snow. But most of the fake snow you see in the film was made out of mashed potato.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I've heard that before, or I've heard that they use like milk or something to get it to show up.
For the most part, yeah, it's that sometimes they used to use shredded paper, or nowadays you would use the magic snow stuff. You remember magic snow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is actually the same stuff they use in nappies to make it absorbent. So it's just that.
Gross.
Yeah, it is. It's not used.
So what you do is you just take a load of shit and you cover it white and you just spray it everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, the mashed potato one I've heard of before. It's usually mixed in with a bit of glue to make it set.
But how do you clear that up afterwards?
With some very, very unfortunate SFX trainees.
Dinner. The famous movie that is played in the film where he says, what's the line?
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's not a real movie.
Is it not?
No.
Oh no, why would you give me that trivia? Oh, my whole life's a lie.
I thought it was an old noir film.
It's called Angels with Filthy Souls, but they made up that scene for the movie.
Oh!
There was going to be an end scene with Harry and Marv watching that from prison, and where they both turned to each other and they realised that it was just a movie all along.
That would have been a good scene.
But also, I mean, if they were going to watch that, like, wow, that was pretty stupid of us. Like, we got beaten by an 8-year-old. I think that's
multiple times.
It's so far down the list of things to worry about.
When he got burnt by the door handle and he bandages it up and he climbs the rope going towards the treehouse, I literally winced. I was like, oh my, as a person who worked in a kitchen for a long, long time and been burnt so often, that must have been excruciating.
Yeah.
I just thought, I could imagine grabbing a rope and pulling yourself. Oh yeah, my bum went in.
He just sucked it out.
Fully in.
Do you remember right at the start of the film, Kevin is going through Buzz's trunk of stuff and he pulls out a Playboy magazine? And just to reassure you all that those pages were taped together so he wouldn't see any nudity.
Why didn't they just put the front cover on the cover of...
Something else.
Yeah.
Or else make it a prop.
Because they cared as much about
podcast.
Macaulay Culkin as they did about the character Kevin. We mentioned earlier that all the effects in this film were practical. So when Marv climbs in through the window and he steps on the baubles, he's stepping on candy and not glass.
Mm-hmm.
The
Pussy.
The blowtorch that we mentioned earlier as well was actually shot onto a fake head, which you can slightly see because the actor Joe Pesci didn't quite align his head to where the fake head was. So if you really look closely, you can see his fake head. I didn't notice personally.
It's very nitpicky. You can't... Practical effects, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work as well.
It's not as bad as Gladiator.
Yeah.
You're seeing like fucking gas canisters.
Yep.
And people in jeans.
You're seeing that really epic shot of Russell Crowe. There's an airplane in the background of the shot.
Very historically accurate. The only effect that wasn't practical was the pellet gun that got shot into Marv's head. That was animated. And my final fact for you, because I thought it was quite funny, the name of the film in non-English versions is also called Mum, I Missed the Plane. And in Brazil, it's called They Forgot About Me.
Aww.
Well, that was quite interesting.
Aww.
So there you go, that's all our trivia. Now there's nothing left to do except to gorge on mince pies, put on our matching Christmas pyjamas and fall asleep on the sofa like most families.
Another eye roll.
So, we've been Nerds Against Normality. Happy holidays to everyone. Catch all of our latest episodes every Wednesdays wherever you get your podcasts from. This is our last episode of the year, so tune in 2025 wherever you get your podcast from. Please follow, rate, like us on social media for more exclusive content. And if you have a question, something you want us to review, or a story from your week, please email us at nerdsagainstnormalitypod@outlook.com. Ho, ho, ho!
Merry Christmas!
Happy holidays all.
Hello again, and welcome to Ben's Facts with Harry and Stacey. So this week, did you know that Ben's so lonely that he sends birthday cards through the post to himself just so that on the big day he feels important for a day? Stay tuned for more facts.